Hey everyone, it's Donna-Marie and Jack back in the kitchen again, and today we're going to do a frittata. If you've never made a frittata before, it's basically like a fancy omelet, and Jack just came downstairs a little bit ago and said, Mom, I'm hungry, can I have the leftover frittata, which we had none left over. So I said, great, let's just shoot the video and we'll make it at the same time. So here we go. So a frittata is like an egg omelet, and it utilizes, I call this one the kitchen fridge frittata because it utilizes whatever you have on hand. But the key base of it, of course, is eggs. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna put in mine. I'm gonna take you into my scary fridge, and I'm gonna show you what else I have in there because you might have things that you don't even realize that you can use in your frittata. So come on over here and take a look at what I've got on my ready to go. All right, so in my frittata today, I have some onions that I've cut up, some garlic, some summer sausage, some spinach, potatoes, and some sun-dried tomatoes. I also had some fresh tomatoes, but Jack's not a fan of fresh tomatoes, so we're not gonna put that in the frittata. But we're gonna go over to my fridge. I'm gonna show you what else I have in there that you could use in the frittata as well. Welcome to my fridge. All right, I just sort of opened it up and I thought, what have I got in here? If you wanted to, you could put in there. So I realized I had some leftover eggplant parmesan. And you know what? I could cut that all up and put it in the frittata. That's one thing that you could put in there. I also have, I realized I have some tuna fish in oil, and I could put tuna fish in the frittata as well, some leftovers. I have some blue cheese, if you're a blue cheese fan, but other cheeses that you could use could be feta cheese, could be Emmental, could be goat's cheese, any kind of cheese. I even have some tofu. If you are a fan of tofu, you could chop that up and put tofu in there as well. It's really up to you. You can make it and be as creative as you want. Just use your leftovers. If you have leftover lasagna, chop it up and put it in there. Whatever, it's gonna be great. So just use what you've got. That's the beauty of a frittata. Okay, first we're gonna start with our eggs. So I have 6 large eggs, or 5 actually. I'm gonna crack one, and I'm gonna add the 6th one in. And then I'm just going to gently beat them. I don't wanna put them in a blender. I don't want to overbeat them. I just want to beat them enough so that they're gently mixed. And I'm going to add to that a 1/4 cup of cream. If you don't have cream, use milk. Use whatever you might, any liquid, and if you don't have either, it's okay, you don't have to add it. You could use, if you're a fan of almond or soy milk, you can use that as well. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do to the eggs. I will season it a little bit with salt and pepper afterwards. Okay, and I've got a little bit of cheese. All right, so we're going to use my Le Creuset non-stick pan. I love the Le Creuset non-stick pans. They are hard anodized forged non-stick. They will not give off any harmful toxins when you cook with these pans. I've got a tablespoon of butter because I love butter, and I'm gonna add a little bit of oil in here as well. My olive oil, and then you know what? I have realized I have some oil from my sun-dried tomatoes, so I'm going to put a bit of that into the pan as well. You just want to gently coat the bottom of the pan all the way around for this frittata. Okay, first thing that goes in, we're going to add our onions into this. Okay, our onions go in, and I'm going to give those a little cook first to soften them up. Okay, my onions have been cooking for a couple of minutes here, so I'm just gonna add the garlic and give it really about 30 seconds or so to cook. Now, if you had bacon, I would have cooked my bacon in the oil first, and then taken the bacon out and done my onions and garlic in the bacon fat. But because I'm using summer sausage, I don't have quite as much to work with. So this is where just be creative in your cooking process. You know the bacon gives off lots of fat. All right, next ingredients. I'm gonna put in some potatoes that I have left over, any starch. If you have leftover rice, leftover noodles, leftover bread cubes, honestly, like the starch, the carb, this is okay, but you don't have to have any of them, okay? But just use, again, using what you've got. So I've got my potatoes in here. I'm gonna add my, my summer sausage that I'm gonna put in. This was Jack's pick, so we're gonna make it because he loves summer sausage. If you have any cold meat, leftover meat, roast chicken, roast beef, roast pork, it doesn't matter. Leftover steak, put that in, it's okay. This recipe will be on our website as a template, not specifically as an exact recipe, because I really want you to be able to use the template and create whatever you want. Okay, we're gonna give this a little season now with some salt and a few grinds of pepper. Make sure you use lots of good freshly ground pepper in this. And other seasonings, if you had dry seasonings you wanted to put in here, great opportunity. Okay, the last couple of ingredients that I'm gonna add into this, I have some sun-dried tomatoes, those sun-dried tomatoes from earlier, and they have the oil in them, and that's okay. I want that extra oil in there. So we'll stir fry those in. And then finally, I've got some parsley. The last of my fresh parsley I had in my fridge. It was starting to look a little wilty, so I thought, okay, we're gonna put it in the frittata. But again, dried spices is fine. And the last thing I'm gonna add in here right now for just a few minutes before I add the eggs in is my spinach. I'm gonna add some chopped spinach in here, and I just want it to wilt, okay? So I chopped it up, and baby spinach, and it's just gonna sit in the pan here for a few minutes just until it wilts, and then we're gonna add the eggs. Okay, my spinach has wilted. I'm just gonna give it a little stir here in my pan, and now, so I've got everything mixed in there together. All right, so next to go in, I'm going to pour over my egg mixture. Okay, I'm going to pour it all over the whole frittata. Okay, and I'll just make sure, move it around so I make sure it gets into all the little nooks and crannies. Okay, and so while that's happening, I'm setting, I'm just going to leave it about 5 minutes. I'm going to add the cheese onto this as well. So that was about a nice little 2-inch block of cheese, and I'm just going to spread my cheese around here at this point, spread it all out on the frittata. Okay, so we're just going to let this bottom set, and then we're going to put it into the oven for about 10 minutes. So my oven is set at 350, and we're going to pop this pan, and yes, you can do that. It can go into the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes until it's set. We'll come back when I put it in the oven. I can tell that the surface of this, the surface is still wet, but the sides are starting to set, and the bottom is starting to set. So what we're going to do is we're going to now put it into the oven for about 10 minutes. So in it goes into the oven at 350, and we're going to leave it in there for about 10 minutes until the whole thing is nice and puffed and set. So we'll be back when I take it out of the oven. Okay, my timer just went off, so I think I'm ready to take it out. Aha, yes, it's beautiful. I'm just gonna snap a picture of that quick, and then we're gonna take it out of the pan because it looks amazing, and I wanna show you how simple it is to get that. Okay, all right. So I'm going to take it over here. Come on over here with me, Jack. It's gorgeous. It's in the pan. And I'm just going to take my metal lifter, and you can see I can lift it right off around the sides. It's coming out beautifully. So I am just going to slide that right out onto my plate. Got one shot to get this right, so you want to make sure it's going to come out. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, that looks fantastic. It's like a giant egg pie. This recipe was inspired by the dinner frittata recipe from Best of Bridge, but we're going to show you how you can just use all your own ingredients to make it. So, frittata, kitchen, refrigerator, frittata, that's what we're making today. So hopefully have fun. Let's see your results. Thanks everyone. Stay safe.